Hi, this is Zak Mir with a Great Request Show special, which is response to an email which I received yesterday asking when we'll know that Coinsilium and Smarter Web have hit the bottom. Presumably, the person who's written the email is feeling a little bit stressed at the moment, given the massive pullbacks that we've had after the massive rally that we had back in June. Simplest answer, and I've been thinking about this quite a lot actually over the last 24 hours, is actually to look at the RSI. Here, the start of the rally was around the 3 pence, 4 pence level for Coinsilium when the RSI pushed above neutral 50 and been above neutral 50 for a long time. And basically, it stayed above neutral 50 until the turn of the month when the shares were around 30 pence. And then after that, couldn't really hold on to the neutral 50 level. We're currently at 39. And if you want the stock to be back in bull mode, you would have to wait for the RSI to get back above neutral 50, which at the moment looks as though it's still days away. The alternative, if you like catching falling knives, would be to wait for the RSI to go below neutral 30, rather oversold 30, as it lasted back in September. But the easiest thing, that's probably the safest thing, is to wait for the RSI to go back above that neutral 50 level. Potential support at the moment is the 200-day line around 6 pence and the old June support there around 5.5 pence. So if you were trying to guess where this market will bottom out, 5.5 to 6 pence, currently the favored destination. Moving along to a stock which is looking rather better and maybe illustrates what a turnaround would look like. That's Satsuma. Here you can see that the shares have had RSI 50 plus from almost continuously since the early part of May, when they were rather lower than they are now, around 0.6 pence. The current situation is that we've had an RSI rebound at neutral 50, so the shares have remained above neutral 50 throughout, even with the pullback. We've broken a line of resistance there around 7.75 pence and above 6 pence. We're looking for a retest of the 14 pence zone, which was and is July resistance at the moment. The big driver here, though, is the way that the RSI has bounced at neutral 50. So that tends to be leading indicator on the upside. Moving on to Smarter Web, which is probably arguably the most painful of the bunch in the sense that we're well down on the 600 pence plus target that we had, or peak that we had. Here you can see that the shares managed to push through RSI 50 at the beginning of May and never been below, well, hadn't been below that until the end of June. Current situation is that the RSI is at 44, so once again, below neutral 50, there's a risk of further downside. Initial downside here would be £1.80, which was the last low there at the end of last month. Below that, the risk is down to £1.10, the old May resistance for the shares. But obviously, we haven't broken down below 180, and we haven't had an end of day close back below the 50-day line. But the safest thing here, if you want to see or feel that the shares have turned around, it would be an end of day close for the RSI back above the neutral 50 level. So we're still away from that, maybe a few days away from that at the moment. Moving on to Tiger Royalties, and here the RSI broken basically around the 0.25 pence level, the RSI 50 level, we're still below that. And therefore, the risk is of not only a test of the old May resistance around 0.15, but the 200-day moving average 0.13. But again, if you want to have a sort of an idiot-proof type of indicator, it would be an end-of-day close for the RSI back above the neutral 50 level. Moving on to a stock which has also had a bit of a pullback, which is Vaultz Capital. Here you can see that the RSI 50 level was lost around the 20 pence zone, and we're at RSI 41, so waiting for that RSI to get back above neutral 50. In the meantime, the old May resistance and the 200-day moving average around 6 pence, so that would be a potential support area if we don't bounce in the meantime. Finishing off with Vault Ventures, and here another situation, the RSI in the low 40s. The RSI fell below neutral 50 when the shares were up there at 0.06. And the current situation is that we've got the shares attempting to find support on an uptrend line there from last year. That's around 0.02, but we have the old low there, 0.017. So waiting for that to get back above the RSI 50 level, or an end of day close back above the 200-day moving average, 0.022. Hope that helped a little bit. That's it for this update. More to come soon.